As a coach, I'm always excited to hear about players and see players doing more with the ball on their own, seeking out opportunities to train, and showing that desire to want to get better. As a parent, I'm the same way. When I see my kids trying to do things on their own, seeking out resources, hungry to learn and develop a new skill, it's an awesome thing. But two key things we have to remember there. One, that is awesome, mainly when it's the child who's pursuing it. And two, that we have to remember that more is not always better. Sometimes we feel like that is the answer to the problem. If my child isn't as good at something as they need to be within the game, they need to do more training, they need to do more of this. And that's not always the case. We have to remember that more is not better. We want kids to want to get better. We want kids to practice on their own, but that doesn't mean they always should. And sometimes I think we get into somewhat of a vicious cycle, especially with what we can see on social media all the time and other families or kids doing extra training or doing a camp, and then we feel pressure that our kids have to do that, or as a coach, I have to offer something else in addition because someone else is offering it. It's always in our face, and we get into this cycle that we always have to offer and do more because we're afraid someone else is out there doing more and getting ahead of us. And the truth is, there are. We have to know that. There are people who are training more than us and doing more than us, and they're advancing. But we also have to recognize that's what's good for them, and that might not be the right answer for us or for a child. I see this all the time where kids are attending training sessions and they're doing a lot of training, but if you really watch them, how much are they getting out of it? Is it their third or fourth training session that week? And you can see they're there, they're trying to put in effort, they're doing extra things, which on the surface is excellent. You got to applaud that type of effort and commitment. But do they really want to do it? And when you can see the body language, they don't really want to do it, then how much are they getting out of it? Just showing up to extra training or doing extra stuff doesn't make you get better. You have to show up wanting to get better, putting in the extra effort. And for some players, and in some situations, that's not the case. You might be doing more, but really getting less out of it. So this is something we have to pay attention to. We want players to get out there and do things on their own and seek out opportunities, but they have to want it. And we have to be very careful that we're not pushing this more mentality, more culture. You have to keep doing it. It's all effort. It has to be the player driven. And again, understand that there are people out there that, are just, that's what they want to do and they do more and it's right for them, but it might not be right for us or it might be right for our kid. And sometimes to push that in, kind of that hope to try to give my child or my players the best opportunities to improve, we have the right intentions, but it might not be the right way to go about it. So it's just something we have to pay attention to with our players, that more is not always the answer. It's not always better. Just doing more hours of training doesn't necessarily help a player improve. It could really actually have the opposite effect and drain their passion to play the game or their want to play it and turn it more into a job versus something that they have fun doing. And that's a delicate balance. Again, there are players that are, they just have a different mentality and they can train all the time and it's what they want. Others, if that's kind of pushed on them and they're doing that, it's not right, it's going to quickly drain their enthusiasm to play the game and work and get better at it. So remember that simple fact. More is not always better. And just because someone else is out there doing something else, that doesn't mean that's right for you. You can applaud it, be happy for them, but it might not be right for your kid, and that might not be right for your players.